Hello, my name is CC Neverender, and I am a speedrunner for Command and Conquer General's 0 Hour. I am the world record holder for all the campaign categories because I really like this game and I play it a lot. So, Command and Conquer Generals is a real-time strategy game with 3 campaigns for all 3 factions. There's US, there's a GLA, and China. GLA is kind of like a terrorist organization, but they're like the main antagonist of the story of the game. But out of all the campaigns, the US campaign is the fastest. It's also the most concise, with as few dead points in the run. Both China and GLA have some kind of long-winded auto-scrollers. The USA has one as well, but it's a bit shorter, and you actually do stuff during the autoscroller, so it's not as boring. So let's go ahead and get into that. So 3, 2, 1. So Command and Conquer Generals was not future-proofed very well, and playing it on like a modern PC is a little it's a little interesting because just like some small adjustments, like in screen resolution size and stuff like that, has made the cutscenes a little broken. So if some of these look a little strange, the reason is because of camera height issues that come from resolution updating. Not to mention just poor cutscenes is kind of like a staple in the Command and Conquer series. So don't be surprised if you see some kind of silly voice acting and scripting going on with these cutscenes here. Probably the most unfortunate thing about running this game is that a lot of these cutscenes are kind of ridiculously long. Like this first one, it's a whole 2 minutes and 30 seconds before we even get to move or do anything. So it's a little annoying in that regard, but it does give time to actually kind of like sit down and you know, think about your strategies and stuff like that. But as you may notice, we are playing a real-time strategy game as a speedrun, which is pretty uncommon. The RTS games usually follow the same formula of like build a base, make units, and then attack the enemy and destroy their base. And this isn't any different. However, as this game especially, almost every one of the campaign missions here involves you having a certain number of starting units, and then from there you have to use those starting units to actually, in order to actually defeat the enemy under certain circumstances. So instead of just like you build a base, attack these guys, and then you're done, it's like you have this many units, you have to go to this point, capture these units, and stuff like that. And that's what makes the campaigns fun and interesting to play, because instead of just sitting down and taking your time building a base, you actually have to use what you have available to you and get everything moving. Gonna get everyone to go that way. In the meantime, we're going to set a rally point. We're going to start spawning a whole bunch of these guys. Also, in the meantime, you guys can be number 1. I'm going to keep these Humvees here. These guys can hold other units, like infantry, and they can hold these rocket units, which are really strong. But the Humvees are pretty weak. I wouldn't say weak. But they're very squishy in some games, as some games would call them. They don't have a lot of health, and they get hit by like rockets or anything like that, they get destroyed pretty quickly. So have everyone go that way, but we're gonna have the Humvees go this way, off to the side. Let's go ahead and take care of that. In the meantime, we have to attack this base here. And then a train is going to appear. We're going to hop on that train. We're going to go attack the other base. kill these guys while we're here. You guys need to guard this area. Let's go ahead and get that. Let's go ahead and get that.
Good work, General. The depot is secured.
Let's get these rocket guys. We're gonna fill up.
Now we need to build
that
an
one there.
attack force large enough to destroy the GLA base.
Let's go and
Load
get
your
all of our
best
units on here.
onto the train. The train will depart when it is completely full.
Come on, guys. Move it, move it, move it.
Army's elite.
Come on now. Get on the train. Alright.
Good work, General. The train is full.
Oh, sad face. The Paladin could get on. So in this mission, from the previous game, this is an expansion pack, so it's essentially a sequel with the same engine, just new missions. And in the previous campaign, the final mission was the GLA took over this missile silo, and the U.S. is coming to take it back.
Our final objective is this GLA base here in the hills. Take it out and the operation is complete. Unit lost.
More GLA! Lock and load! Calling in GLA bunker location at Grid Square Beta Charlie. 6, 8, 9er, 4, 4. Copy that, Delta 2. Your orders are to fall back. Over. Fast movers inbound. Chew on these. How about this? Rip it up! How about a show for it? Come on in. Rip it up! How about this? Into it, brother. Chew on these. Chew on these.
Unit lost.
There we go.
Alpha Wing, area is clear. You may proceed.
So after we take out all the GLA in the area, we're gonna go ahead and drop a bomb on these guys. That's how we do it in America. America. Mission accomplished. We lost a little bit of time because that jumble right in front of the train here. It's okay. We're still pretty much on time. A couple seconds behind. I've been running this game for a while, but because I don't have a whole lot of competition, I almost essentially run this game by myself, and I really only have a little bit of resources, like from previous people who have also speedrun this game, to actually get any idea about routing. So there's just a couple of places where I could probably be doing better, but I haven't gotten to that point. So I am still the best runner. There's about 4 of the people who have played, or who have run the campaign, and I am still the world record holder. I think whenever I found out about speedruns for this game, I think the world record was like just under an hour or something like that, and I very quickly beat that because the times on the leaderboards were not very optimized. But
until the dozers arrive, we will have to defend this position with our troops as they filter in.
But yeah, since then we brought it down to about just under 30 minutes. I could probably bring this down to a low 28, or maybe even lower if I had like perfect micromanaging and all that stuff, but as a human it's kind of hard to get to that level of perfection there. But so in this mission here we have a bunch of, this is a bit of an autoscroller. We have a whole bunch of just buildings that we have to destroy, but we have to wait for the supply trucks. Can you guys blow them up? Thanks, appreciate it. We're gonna get like a very slow transport that's gonna bring supply trucks over to our base, and we have to wait for all 10 of them to arrive before we can do anything. Interestingly enough, there's a mechanic in this level, and this level only, where you get an aircraft carrier that can essentially launch infinite strings of raptors to attack, and lucky for us, the raptors do a lot of damage. So so we can kind of just sit back and relax. So luckily, we have these guys. Unfortunately, we can't make this mission any faster because we do have to wait for all of the supply trucks to show up, which means that even if we blow up everything, like right here now, we'd still have to wait for the supply trucks before we could finish the mission. But if we take care of everything, where everything is destroyed, and all the other mission objectives are complete, then as soon as the first truck arrives at the supply depot, we instantly win. So that's nice. That.
Reinforcements incoming, General.
Main engines engaged.
Yeah. This is kind of the autoscroller. At this point, we could be doing donations and stuff like that. Or if anybody had any questions, chat commentary. So, if any of you ever played some of these games, you may notice that we're playing on the easy difficulty. Easy difficulty is obviously the easiest and allows for some of the fastest strategies because we don't have to worry about enemies stopping us.
Reinforcements incoming, General.
But the problem is that it does kind of get a little bit boring. There's not a whole lot of challenge. Mission 3, 4, and 5 are very different on the later difficulties. They're pretty much the same on the first difficulties, but they are very different on the hard ones. So, as a donation incentive, I will be putting up the incentive to do hard mode. I have done a little bit of practice of it. I plan on actually running it more consistently. So, I would like to be able to submit that. But I think as of now, I'll submit easy with an incentive to do hard mode. So, Command & Conquer series game has never made it to a GDQ before, as far as the community is aware.
Reinforcements incoming, General.
Aircraft carrier.
And this would be a very interesting and different sight to behold at a GDQ, which would be fun. Let's see. Out of all of the games in the series, the Generals, Vanilla, and 0 Hour are the two most popular, with the most amount of runs. Probably the highest amount of optimizations. And I am on the forefront on both of those games. I am the world record holder for all the categories in 0 Hour, and I have some of the records, or I'm like second or third place on all the other ones. So I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't want to be one of those guys, but nobody had done runs for Vanilla Generals for a while, and I thought, you know what, I'm pretty good at 0 Hour. I'll try my hand at the Vanilla General as well. And whenever I got there, I took all 3 world records for all 3 campaigns, and I think that really inspired a couple of the other runners who came back and took the world record from me. But I might eventually go back to taking this. I just don't like the vanilla campaign as much as I like 0 Hour campaign. So, but yeah, this is the autoscroller part. We have about one more minute, a minute and 20 before this level is over, so we kind of don't have much to do.
Good job. All trucks are safely to the docks. Now let's get them to the city.
Let's bring all these guys home. Let's get all these guys out of the way.
Comanche here. Moving to new AO.
So yeah, we have to wait for these supply trucks to slowly but surely make their way across. And that'll be the end of the mission. So as a genre, the real-time strategy games have not been super popular for speedrunning. Because I think depending entirely on how the campaign is structured, depends if it'll make a good speed game. If it's just like build a base, get some units, kill the enemy, like every single time, it usually doesn't get that. It gets to be a little repetitive, and it just isn't that interesting to speedrun. But if it's like this, where it's like all these really interesting and different scenarios where you have to do your best. Like we started off where we had a small base, but we already had a small army. We just go and attack those guys. And this one, we have to destroy all the bases, but we have the Air Force, the aircraft carrier. That's what I was looking for. And split. Somehow lost time on the autosplitter, but that's okay. It's probably loading. Loads can be a little irregular in this one, which is why our primary timing is without loads. But we're working on an auto splitter, so that is in the works. But so in this mission, we actually play as a stealth mission where we have our faction's special unit, who is Colonel Burton. Colonel Burton is like a commando guy who has a machine gun, and he has explosives that he can stealthily apply to buildings, either timed or remote charge. Very strong. Whenever he's like max veteracy, which is like by being a good unit and by getting a lot of kills and stuff like that, he gains experience where he attacks faster, does more damage, and at max veteracy, he can kill almost any unit. Like, I wouldn't say instantly, but he can outclass almost any unit one-on-one, even like armor, which is pretty nice.
General, Colonel Burton and Black Lotus are in position. Their primary objective is this secret laboratory.
So we're gonna move up. We're gonna take out this paper mache tank, which is super weak for some reason.
Once she has completed her download, Colonel Burton must bring down.
But Colonel Burton is stealthed, so he cannot be seen, which is handy. Everyone move up. Everyone move up. I need everyone up here. There we go. Don't. I almost killed Burton there. I shouldn't have put him that close. But in this campaign, the USA is working alongside with China to take out the GLA, who are the bad dudes. They have committed terrorist attacks across Europe. They have launched chemical weapons against European cities, as well as a U.S. Military forward operating base in the European region. Alright, come on, Burton. Let's go this way.
Where are we going?
There we go.
Come on. Right here. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. I'll be your spotter. I've seen it all.
Okay. So our first mission is to rescue these POWs who are here in this this camp area. After we kill this thing here. Alright. Now, interestingly enough, we don't actually need those units to do anything. We just need Colonel Burton to move forward. Normally you would have to move forward and take out the other GLA bases that are kind of nestled in the hills here. But because Colonel Burton has this special ability to actually go over terrain like this, it just so happens we can kind of just skip everything. Oh, don't get run over.
If you can destroy them, you will cripple the GLA here.
We're just gonna go mosey on down here.
A little C4 here and there, and I'll make short work of this place. Just say the word, General.
So it seems that the designers were aware of this abuse of the level, because in hard mode they actually have stealth detecting vans there, that will, and they also have like anti-infantry units in those towers
Our Colonel Burton has been
for the purpose that if you try to do that, they'll instantly shoot you and kill you before you can do anything. So that is, let's take out that guy. And so the mission actually ends when you get next to the mountain there. And by doing it in the spot where I did it at, by taking out that stinger site, you actually are safe from the tunnel networks that are next to it. If you try to do the same strategy next to a tunnel network, it'll kill you in the middle of this cutscene, which will make you fail the mission, which is kind of a weird thing. But that is a safe strat where that is... it is. I don't think it's. I don't know if it's impossible to fail. I haven't done like an incredible amount of testing, but for the most part, that is a safe strat. I have not had any problems yet, so I think it's safe to say it's pretty good. There we go. All right. So this next mission is kind of dicey. Unfortunately, it is one of the only really hard missions to do fast, because we do a AI abuse. Normally, this is one of the missions where you have to start building a base, build up your units, go attack this thing. Then once you attack that thing, you have to go take your units, go attack that thing, and then you win. But an interesting thing in this one is that you do start off with a bunch of units. And the U.S. has supply Chinooks, which will take resources from the depots back to your base to give you money.
Airstrip secured, General. Reinforcements
But they also can move units as well. So we are going to fill up 2 Chinooks with some tanks and some Humvees full of dudes, and we're going to go take it behind the enemy base. And if we go into their base from a certain area, like on the far left side where there's not as many base defenses, we are going to avoid triggering the AI. So essentially the AI is in like idle mode where it's just kind of sitting there waiting for you to approach, and then once you get close enough, the base becomes active and they start generating units and trying to take you out. But interestingly enough, let's see here. These guys, you guys are not on the list. Those guys up there. We'll drop those units behind enemy lines, and they essentially won't do anything. They'll just sit there and let us wail on them. So it's super awesome. I get you. Get you. Get you. Get you. So the rest of you guys gonna go on that one. Get another one of you. Build that one. You guys can fill that one up. Okay, so these 4 are the units that we're gonna use. Let's go ahead and get these guys.
Come on in. Let's go. Paladin taking the field. On your command. Clearing terrain.
So before we leave, we're going to go ahead and get an upgrade that increases our attack damage on our Humvees. And then we're going to fly.
There are several artillery platforms in the area. Capture them for suppression fire.
This area right here is the place that we use. Oh, go that way. There we go. This is like the marker that I use to put everyone there, and then we go straight north from there. Alright, there we go. There's a bit of a weird camera bug there, which it can be really annoying because you won't be able to get to see this area behind the base. It can be kind of devastating if you don't have the ability. You can change the camera like this, but when it's stuck back here, you can't really, I don't know, it's not as easy. But that's besides the point. These guys are group 1, these guys are group 2. Okay, group 2 is going to move over here. In the meantime, group 1 is going to start taking out these enemies. So essentially we can avoid activating the AI if we stay on this back wall over here. The main culprit of activating the AI is getting too close to their base defenses, which are like this tunnel network. Oh, nope, 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 get back. You do have to be constantly aware of what your units are trying to do, because if they are going too far in one direction, they will ruin everything for you. So this line of defenses here, this one here in particular, are the ones we have to be very careful of when we're actually doing this. So you're going to go here, attack that. Oop. You guys are going to attack this. So as long as you are in control of your units, you can take these out pretty quickly. Just don't get crazy. Like, I'm gonna move these guys back this way, because if I didn't, they'd probably go this way, and that's not good. Who's Burton? You do. Get a little closer. There we go. So with just these two sets of units, we are able to take this out. See, if we get too close to that tunnel network, all these hell spawn just start falling out of that tunnel. So you gotta be real careful with that. There we go. That was mission 4. I should have made a safety save, but I was feeling pretty confident. Luckily, we didn't have any problems. You can make safety saves in all these, and as long as they are from the same run, they are all valid. We could always have a backup one just in case. But here we have the final mission of the USA campaign. All of the biological weapons that have been used against the United States have been products of General Thrax, who is a GLA general, or Dr. Thrax, I should say. This mission's kind of busy, so there's a lot of things to do and not a lot of time to explain what we're doing. So I need vision of this base here. We have to capture 4 of these toxin missile sites. In order to do that, we need to reach those. We need to reach those bases, but we want to do so in a way where we don't just bust through the front door. We want to actually do as little fighting as possible. Although we will have to fight through a different base. There are 2 bases. There's 2 missiles here and 2 missiles on the other side. As quickly as possible, now that we have access to the GLA base to the side of us, because they were so generous to help us out. They are revolting from General Thrax in his awful ways, so we're going to do that. We're going to get our technicals up here. We're going to drop this toxin bomb here, and that's going to kill most of the units that are situated in this area, like this tank and hopefully this quad cannon. Yep. Both of those guys are anti-infantry. Well, not the quad, not the Scorpion, but the quad cannon definitely is. So we can actually squeeze by.
What's the mission, sir?
Some weird pathfinding on this bridge here, in particular, but we're going to go ahead and move everyone through here. We're going to get rid of some of these mines, because they will kill us. Let's get that. We're going to get like a group of you and a group of you. Oh, both of you guys come over here. So we have rangers who can capture things, and this guy's going to be 2, this guy's going to be 3. We'll put both of those guys there. Now the poison hasn't subsided just yet. In the meantime, we need you guys to go here.
Unit lost.
Take out this quad cannon. He's our main enemy right now. Once he's gone, we can go ahead and just attack everyone who's here. 2 and 3 are ready to go. Okay, so now we have cleared out this base with poison. The poison has subsided. We're going to wait just a second. In the meantime, we're going to get 2 and 3 over here. Although we're going to put 3 over that one. And capture is just about ready. Boom, let's go ahead and start capturing. In the meantime, we have our Chinook filled with dudes. We're gonna have him capture this one, have him capture that one. Okay. And that is how you stealthily and quickly take out General Thrax. Now there is a bit of a danger here. Sometimes they'll send like a tank or something to attack us, but it looks like we got both those just fine. If I did a bit more micromanaging on these guys here, we would have been able to take this out a little bit faster. But overall, that was a very good run. We were only behind by about 20 seconds. So I'm okay with this.
Good work, General.
On easy, this mission is pretty hard to mess up because, like that rebel surprise that I dropped in the northwest base, can take out a tank or a quad cannon by themselves, and still have units left over to actually capture them. So it's pretty hard. But in hard mode, it's a bit more difficult, and I do have to work on more safe strategies. But well, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Command & Conquer General 0 Hour. We are a small community, but we are a passionate community. We love RTS games as a genre, and we would like to see more of them speedrun. So hopefully you guys like that. If I have a donation incentive to do a hard difficulty, which is enemies are smarter, they have better resources, they do more damage, they also have a lot more units on the field, so it does make just going through and taking stuff out a bit harder. So I still like the easy campaign the most, just because it's the least hassle-free, but hard mode does require some extra thinking, and it's a bit more skill involved, so I can see why people would like to see hard mode. So hopefully you like that, and you want to see it in GDQ. So regardless, I'll be attending, so I hope to see you guys there.